institutions have been closed and the country is passing through an emergency, medical emergency, and you never know when your exams are going to be held. Maybe they said in the second or last week of June, condition being that the corona comes to an end. Only when we feel safe to go to schools and colleges, then your exams will be held. But anyway, you cannot ignore your studies. It's a long time. Last year you suffered. There were no studies, you were doing online, and anyway you completed your class 11. When you come to class 12 and students were thinking that they're going to start a new academic session, but unfortunately once again your exams, throughout the year you struggled to study. You took the help online from your school teachers and you took help from other experts online. But anyway, when you were seriously thinking of giving the board exams, once again we are in COVID times. So anyway, we realize now that corona is not going to leave, it's not going to go away. We have to live with it. So taking utmost precautions, your exams will be held sometime in June. Okay, once again we are back. I promise that I will be posting you more and more videos. Now once again, I remind you how to prepare for the board exams. When it comes to economics, again I repeat, there will be 4 types of questions. Number 1 marker question or 1 word answer you are supposed to write, where you are supposed to write a sentence on a 1 word. For example, in case they ask you what are intermediate goods, don't write big answers, just write to the point. Intermediate goods are those goods which are used for further production of other goods or resold in the same accounting year. For example, sugar cane in the manufacturing of sugar is intermediate good. Then you have a 3 marker question where you are supposed to write 3 lines, 60 words. What is a 3 marker question? I give you an example. Differentiate between intermediate goods and final goods. I've already told you, then you write first intermediate goods are those which can be used for further production of other goods or resold in the same accounting year. Then this side of the table you write final goods are those which are meant for final consumption or capital formation. So you wrote already one example of intermediate goods, wood in the manufacturing of furniture. Here you write final goods, a refrigerator, a TV used at home, your mobile phone, these are all final goods. Then you write intermediate. While calculating national income, we should not take the value of intermediate good. We should take the value of only final goods, otherwise it leads to the problem of double counting. Then if you want to write one more point, intermediate goods, they move on from one production process to the other. Final goods, they don't move from one production process to the other. That's the end of the transaction. If you want one more point here, intermediate goods remain within the production boundary and final goods come outside the production boundary. That's more than enough. Then you have a 4 marker question. In 4 marker question, maybe you increase a line or more beyond that. So they can ask you in the 4 marker question something like, write any 4 precautions you take while calculating national income. So any 4 precautions you can write. Number 1, you can write it. We should not take the value of intermediate goods, otherwise it leads to the problem of double counting. Number 2, we should not take the value of second-hand goods, sale and purchase, because they've already been accounted for in the year they were manufactured. Since generally they're asking you any 4 precautions to measure national income, from any method you can write it. Number 3, we should not take transfer incomes or transfer payments because they are unilateral payment for which no promise of goods and services have been made. Number 4, one more, financial transactions, sale and purchase of bonds, debentures should not be taken because no production is taking place. That's enough. And the last 6 marker question you have, that means 1 marker, 2 marker, 4 marker 3 marker, then you have 4 marker, and the last one you have 6 marker. In 6 marker question, they can ask you something. You are supposed to write 150 words, maybe how do you measure national income by product method, income method. That's it, pretty simple. Okay, that's it. Why I reminded you all this, you must have forgotten, so write to the point. Don't write unnecessarily and understand the subject. That's very important. Now we carry on. Today, see, we are discussing about poverty chapter. Poverty, we have seen many topics in poverty. Define poverty, we have seen. We have seen the difference between urban poor and rural poor. And we have already covered, please see my earlier videos, what are the characteristics of poor people. And we have seen how do you measure poverty, relative poverty, absolute poverty, and all we have seen poverty line, how do you determine the poverty line. And then we have seen differentiate what are the different ways of categorizing poverty, chronic poor and transient poor. These things we discussed it. Now we'll see now an important question we'll talk about. What are the causes of poverty? It's a very important question. Might come for 4 marks, maybe for 6 marks. So how to attempt it? Write subheadings and write 2-3 lines. Maybe 4 subheadings if it is for 4 marks. If it is for 6 marks, write 6 subheadings and then write 2 lines simply. So what are the causes of poverty? So the first cause of poverty is population explosion. So we know why India is poor, because we already know that India is the second largest populated country in the world. So obviously when the population is so high, the per capita income is low. So that's one reason for poverty. I'll be giving you the notes in detail. Please copy it in your notebook and learn. The second point is low level of economic development. In India, the economic development is very low. That why economic development is low? Because of backward agriculture and industry latest technology we're not using in agriculture industry. Obviously low level of economic development, then the income of the people will be poor. That means 25% of the population live below poverty line even today. And the third point, poor state of agriculture. I just told you, India, we have primitive methods and small land holdings where you cannot use any kinds of latest technology. So that's why we have poverty. High illiteracy rate, obviously in the country still we have illiteracy rate is very high. So that's one of the reasons for poverty. And high level of unemployment. People are unemployed. Why there is so much unemployment? Whatever unemployment you find in urban areas, in cities, it is because of an overflow of the rural poor to the cities, urban. So that's why there is unemployment. And high level of, you can say, indebtedness. Indebtedness people have because they have low money for marriages and other functions. They borrow money, so they are indebted to the money lenders. So that's another reason for poverty. And inequalities of income. In India, the national income is not equitably distributed. Rich is becoming rich and the poor is becoming poor. That is one of the reasons for poverty in India. And inflation. Every year the price rise is happening. Because of this, the people are poor. So we discussed some. One is a population explosion, now low level of economic development, poor state of agriculture, high illiteracy rate, high level of unemployment in the country, high level of indebtedness, inequalities of income. So now we read this in detail and you listen to this carefully, and whatever the points flashing in the video, please write it in a notebook. That will really help you. So we read it now carefully, listen carefully. What are the main causes of poverty in India? Number 1, population explosion. Rapid growth of population, particularly among the poor, is responsible for the problem of poverty in the country. It is obvious that when total national income is thinly spread over a large number of people, the per capita income is bound to be low. That is the first point. The second point, low level of economic development. The Indian economy is highly underdeveloped due to relative backwardness of agricultural and industrial sectors. Due to widespread bottlenecks in infrastructural facilities and slow pace of development, nearly 25% of population is still living below the poverty line. And the third point, poor state of agriculture. Agriculture in India has continued to be backward due to use of primitive methods of production and fragmented small land holdings. As a result, labor and land productivity continue to be low in India. Consequently, most of the farmers live in a state of poverty. And the fourth point, high illiteracy rate. The weaker sections of the society have to take up low-paid jobs due to lack of knowledge. Most members of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are not able to participate in the emerging employment opportunities in different sectors of the urban and rural economy, as they do not have the necessary knowledge and skills to do so. And the fifth point, high level of unemployment. A large sections of urban poor in India are largely the overflow of the rural poor, who migrate to urban areas in search of employment and in livelihood. Industrialization has not been able to absorb all those people. Most of the urban poor are either unemployed or temporarily employed as casual laborers. Such casual laborers are among the most vulnerable in society, as they have limited skills with no job security, no assets and no surplus to substantiate them. So poverty is clearly related to nature of unemployment. And the sixth point, high level of indebtedness. Unemployment or underemployment and the casual nature of work compels people to borrow money, that too at higher interest rates. Such indebtedness is one of the significant factors of poverty. And seventh point, inequalities of income. The unequal distribution of income and assets has also led to the persistence of poverty in India. And the last point we have is inflation. The steep and continuous rise in the prices, particularly of essential commodities like food grains, has added to the miseries of the poor. Sharp rise in prices and negligible change in monetary income has decreased the purchasing power of low-income earners and resulted in lower standard of living. So that's it. We have given you 6-7 points here. These points are very important, and these are the causes of poverty in India. Poverty in India because there is unemployment, there is people are indebted to the money lenders, and there is no industrialization has taken place in urban rural areas. The farmers, agriculture farms, they're not using latest technology, neither they are using the latest technology in industries. And these are some of the causes. So write the subheading and then write 2-3 points. So that's all we have for time for this video. So what I suggest you is, you pick up any video, whatever the question is there, write down in your notebook and write down the notes, read it carefully 3-4 times. I'm sure you're done. Any topic, any chapter, any unit. It is not necessary that you have to do right from chapter 1. Please do not forget to share, subscribe, like and comment on our videos. Keep studying. Not because your exams have been postponed that you keep on postponing your studies. A day will come, you will have no time to study. So gradually keep on studying. I'm sure you'll do wonders in your exams whenever they conduct. In the meantime, take care. Don't go unnecessarily outside your home. Don't attend any classes in the school or coaching centers. Sit at home and study. At the same time, maintain social distance. Keep hygiene, keep washing your hands, and whenever you go, mask up, right? So that's all the precautions we have. So till we meet next time, it's goodbye from Saddam saying bye bye guys.